Hello and welcome back to our channel, where wisdom reigns. There is no conflict between thinking and feeling. Thinking is not opposed to feeling. Wisdom has been defined in many different ways throughout history. Some say it's the ability to discern right from wrong and make the right decision. Others define it as knowledge and understanding that comes from experience and learning. In order to achieve this harmony, it is important that we first understand what wisdom means. Well, for most of human history, we have valued thinking over feeling. We have praised those who are logical and rational and thought of those who are emotional as being weak or foolish. However, Jung believed that this is the wrong way to look at things. He said that we should value both thinking and feeling equally, because both are necessary for us to be truly wise. The word wisdom comes from the Old English word wisdom, which means quality of being wise. Our thoughts are often based on our beliefs and values. These beliefs and values were likely instilled in us by our parents and other members of our society. For example, you might believe that stealing is wrong because you were taught that it is immoral. You might also believe that hard work pays off because you were told that by your parents who wanted you to get a good education. These beliefs and values shape the way we think and ultimately influence the decisions we make. Our feelings are trying to tell us that something is important to us. We must decide whether or not we agree with our feelings. If we do, we must act on them. If we don't, we must try to understand why not. By listening to our feelings and acting on them when appropriate, we can make decisions that are in line with our values and beliefs. If you liked it, please don't forget to leave us a like and share it with your friends. Thank you for watching, and until next time, take care. Thinking is a very powerful tool. It allows us to plan ahead, to solve problems, and to make decisions based on logic rather than emotion. It is a quality that we develop through our experiences and the choices we make. When we are young, we are often eager to learn and explore the world. It is a quality that we develop through our experiences and the choices we make. When we are young, we are often eager to learn and explore the world. We ask lots of questions and try new things. As we get older, we may become more set in our ways and less willing to change. However, Jung believed that wisdom is something that we can all attain, regardless of our age. It is a matter of being open to learning and growing. We ask lots of questions and try new things. As we get older, we may become more set in our ways and less willing to change. However, Jung believed that wisdom is something that we can all attain, regardless of our age. It is a matter of being open to learning and growing. These instincts are shaped by our experiences and the way we have coped with similar situations in the past. It is through our experiences that we learn and grow. By reflecting on our experiences and the decisions we have made, we can learn from our mistakes and become wiser as a result. Wisdom is not something that we are born with. It is a skill that we develop over time. The more we practice balancing our thinking and feeling, the wiser we will become. First, we need to become aware of our biases and the beliefs that shape our thinking. It is a skill that we develop over time. The more we practice balancing our thinking and feeling, the wiser we will become. We ask questions like, why did this happen? Or what is the meaning of life? Our feelings tell us that these questions are important, but they don't necessarily provide us with the answers. Our feelings can be a source of wisdom, but we must learn to listen to them carefully. They are trying to tell us something, but we must be willing to hear what they have to say. Wisdom is not a destination, but rather a journey. It is a lifelong process of learning and growing. We also need to become more in tune with our feelings and learn to trust them. This is not always easy to do, but it is important if we want to make wise decisions. For example, if you have been betrayed by someone in the past, you might feel suspicious of everyone you meet. If you have always felt loved and supported by your family, you might feel confident in your relationships. Instead, we should strive for a balance between the two. Feeling, too, has its own importance. Our feelings tell us what we care about and what is important to us. They tell us when something is wrong and needs to be fixed. Feelings can be a great source of wisdom, but only if we are willing to listen to them. When we think, we are able to weigh the pros and cons of a situation and come up with a rational solution. Thinking is a very important part of our decision-making process, and it is something that we should value. He said that where wisdom reigns, there is no conflict between the two. Instead, they complement each other and work together to help us make decisions. When we think, we should consider how our feelings might be involved, and when we feel something strongly, we should try to understand why. Only then can we achieve a state of wisdom. To be wise is to be knowledgeable, yes, but also to be able to use that knowledge wisely. A wise person is someone who can make good decisions and take the right actions based on the knowledge they have. We are told that emotions are bad and that we should not trust them. As a result, Many people end up suppressing their feelings instead of learning to understand and accept them. This can lead to a lot of problems, such as anxiety and depression. Jung, however, had a slightly different take on wisdom. He believed that wisdom is something that is realized when we come to understand that there is no fundamental difference between the conscious and unconscious aspects of our psyche. In other words, wisdom is achieved when we stop fighting our true selves and accept all parts of ourselves, both the good and bad, rational and irrational. We may think that we are rational creatures and have based our culture on the idea of rationality. We boast about how reasonable we are, but there is an unreasonable element in all of us, an irrational side which cannot be ignored. Thinking and feeling go hand in hand. They complement each other and are part of a whole process. This quote by Carl Gustav Jung talks about wisdom, but what exactly does it mean? We live in a society that often encourages us to ignore our feelings or to believe that they are irrational. We learn to think that emotions are something that we need to overcome. Many people spend their entire lives trying to suppress their emotions because they do not know how to handle them or feel uncomfortable with their feelings. This leads to an imbalance in their personalities and can cause a lot of distress. However, Jung believed that our feelings are just as important as our thoughts, and that we should not try to deny or ignore them. Instead, we should learn to understand and accept them. Only then can we achieve true wisdom. Jung said that where wisdom reigns, there is no conflict between thinking and feeling. Instead, there is a harmony between the two. So what does all of this have to do with thinking and feeling? To understand what Jung meant by this, let's take a closer look at the two parts of the equation, thinking and feeling. However, Jung believed that we should not value thinking over feeling. The problem is that in our society, we are often taught to ignore our feelings. Jung believed that the key to wisdom lies in our ability to balance our thinking and feeling. In order to achieve this balance, it is important that we understand where our thoughts and feelings come from. Our feelings, on the other hand, are often based on our instincts and intuition. So how do we balance our thoughts and feelings when making decisions? It is important to note that wisdom is not something that we are born with. When we think, we often try to make sense of the world around us. When we feel something strongly, it is important to pay attention. Wisdom is often associated with old age, but it is not something that we attain simply by living longer. Achieving wisdom is a lifelong journey. It is a process of becoming more aware of ourselves and the world around us. Wisdom is often associated with old age, but it is not something that we attain simply by living longer. We hope that you enjoyed this video and that it has given you some food for thought.